Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Georgetown High School and first responder broadcast coverage of Georgetown Eagle Baseball Live here on the SHN Sports YouTube channel. I'm Wally Harmon alongside my partner that does it all, Jerry N. Harmon, running the behind the scenes, and we're live here at Eagle Field for tonight's Game 1 between the Georgetown Eagles and the Elgin Wildcats. Georgetown comes into the ball game 18-3 overall, 3-1 in district play with a 2-1 win on Thursday night last weekend over the Eastview Patriots to split that series one game apiece. And now the Wildcats come in tonight for Game 1, and then Friday night we'll be on the road at Elgin High School in Elgin, Texas to take on the Wildcats at 7 p.m. on Friday in Game 2 of this two-game series. But the Wildcats come in on the opposite spectrum of things for the way Georgetown and Elgin sit on the series. Elgin at the bottom of the district with an 0-4 record in district play, just 4 wins on the year. A tough year for Coach Bourgeois of the Elgin Wildcats. Just 11 suited players for this team, 11 or 12 suited players for this team. And so a lot of challenges there at Elgin, and a lot of seniors graduated last year, and then a name that you would be familiar with, and Tyson McFarland is not playing this year at Elgin, and so they come in 4-14 overall, 0-4 in district with a 9-game losing streak. Georgetown at 18-3 and 3-1. Georgetown in district averaging 10 runs a game. But to the PA announcer we go for tonight's intro.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's game between the visiting Elgin Wildcats and your Georgetown Eagles. We'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and supporting these young men. And now, the starting lineups for the Elgin Wildcats. Batting first, playing center field, number 21, Jesse Guerrero. Batting second, playing second base, number 5, Preston Moss. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 28, Tanner Modisette. Batting fourth, pitching tonight, number 3, Bryce Barron. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 11, Trey Flores. Batting sixth, playing first base, number 10, Hamilton Hodges. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 22, Sam Wade. Batting eighth, designated hitter, number 7, Rustin Glass. Batting ninth and catching, number 30, Kavanaugh Fowler. And playing left field for the Wildcats, number 8, Javier Ramirez. And now, your Georgetown Eagles. Batting first, playing center field, number 6, Cooper Thomas. Batting second and pitching, number 7, Jack Kiki. Batting third and catching, number 8, Connor Young. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 11, Braden Rogers. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 12, Caleb McDougall. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 10, Braden Curtin. Batting seventh, playing third base, number 13, Colton Green. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, number 22, Gavin Kelly. Batting ninth, playing left field, number 3, Cade Erickson. And playing right field for the Eagles, number 4, Clayton King. If you would, please stand and remove your hats for the national anthem.
Back live here at Georgetown High School. We get ready for tonight's ball game, and we'll go over the starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles. As you'll see them come across your screen, leading it off in center field for the Eagles. Number 6, Cooper Thomas. On the mound, number 7, senior Jack Kiki. And batting third behind the plate, number 8, Connor Young. Batting fourth for the Eagles at first base, number 11, Braden Rogers. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 12, Caleb McDougal. Batting sixth, the DH, number 10, Braden Curtin. Batting seventh at third base, number 13, Colton Green. Batting eighth at shortstop, number 22, Gavin Kelly. And batting ninth in left field, number 3, Cade Erickson. So it'll be Thomas, Kiki, and Young in the top third. Rogers, McDougal, Curtin in the middle third. Green, Kelly, and Erickson in the middle third for the Georgetown Eagles to start it off here tonight. Defensively for the Eagles as we go to the top of the first inning. Cade Erickson in left, Cooper Thomas in center, Clayton King in right field for tonight's ball game. On the infield, Colton Green at third, Gavin Kelly at short, Caleb McDougal at second base, Braden Rogers at first base, Connor Young behind the mound, and the senior right-hander, number 7, Jack Kiki, on the hill for the Eagles to start out here in tonight's ball game. Georgetown, other action this week. Friday night, we'll be live at Elgin High School to take on the Wildcats in Game 2 of this series. And then Saturday, a 1 p.m. tilt over the Highway 29 battle. We'll be down at Liberty Hill to take on the Liberty Hill Panthers at 1 p.m. We'll have the call live here on the SHN Sports YouTube channel, but come down the road there for a fun contest against the Liberty Hill Panthers, the top team in 5A in the state, as well as they are in the top 15 in the state, and should be a good battle as it historically is between these two teams. The Wildcats will bring up their top three in the lineup here in the top of the first inning. Jesse Guerrero, Preston Moss, and Tanner Modisette to take on Jack Kiki for the Eagles here to start out in the top of the first inning. The first pitch of the ball game, we're underway. Slash foul back towards the first base dugout for strike one. The center fielder, Jesse Guerrero, steps in from the right side. Kiki on the season has thrown 17 innings, started 4 games, faced 69 batters, thrown 247 pitches. For the 0-1 pitch in there, or a called strike, 0-2 the count. The 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 3. And Guerrero down on strikes for out number 1. First strikeout for Jack on the ball game. Preston Moss, the second baseman, will step in from the right side as well with 1 out and the base is empty. First pitch to Moss, low for ball 1. That strikeout was number 13 of the season for Jack on the mound. 1-0 the count here to Moss with Tanner Modisette, the shortstop, on deck for the Wildcats. From the windup, the 1-0 pitch. Pop foul back out of play, 1-1 the count to the second baseman. 323 down the lines here at Georgetown's Eagle Field, 385 to center field. The all-turf infield, all-grass outfield here at Georgetown High School. The 1-1 pitch. It's a little high. Connor Young will collect it and throw back. 2-1 the count to Preston Moss. Tanner Modisette on deck. Wildcats in the road grays tonight. Georgetown the home whites. The 2-1 pitch misses outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count now to the second baseman Moss. Georgetown the all-white pants, all-white jerseys. Eagles in Georgetown blue and script lettering across the front with the blue numerals on the front and back of the white jerseys with the camo hats with the Stars and Stripe G logo. A 3-1 pitch fouled back out of play. Full count now to Preston Moss here in the top of the first. 1 out. Base is empty. Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Come out to Camp Brightside. We'll have the coaches show. Coach Durrell, freshman JV and varsity players of the week. 3-2 pitch fouled off back to the screen, and Moss stays alive in the at-bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kiki works out of the first base side of the rubber from the windup. The payoff pitch Just misses for ball 4. So a 1-out base runner for the Wildcats. The 4th walk issued on the season for Kiki in his 5th start. And that'll bring up Tanner Modisette, the shortstop from the right side. He'll step in with the runner at first base and 1 out. Moss being held on at first base by Braden Rogers as Kiki moves to the stretch. The first pitch to Modisette is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Next week for Georgetown will be another shortened week with Good Friday on the 3rd. They'll play on Tuesday and Thursday, so we'll move the coaches show to Wednesday. So it'll be a quick 3-day window for Eagle baseball next week. The 0-1 pitch misses low and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count. To Modisette on deck. Bryce Barron, the pitcher for the Wildcats. Kiki comes set. A 1-1 pitch. Fisted out towards first. Rogers can't get to it, and it'll trickle into right field for a base hit. So runners on first and second with 1 out. The first hit of the ball game for the Wildcats. Bryce Barron, the pitcher for the Wildcats, will step in from the right side with runners on first and second base. Just the 10th hit allowed by Kiki on the season. First of the night for the Wildcats. Moss off second base. Modisette leads off first as Kiki remains in the stretch. Look at second base. The first pitch to Barron. Back up the middle. Kelly to his left will field it, but it's off his glove. That'll be an error that'll load the bases for the Eagles, or for the Wildcats here in the top of the first. As Moss cruises into third base, Modisette safe at second on the E6. So now runners on first, second, and third, and in steps the third baseman, Trey Flores, number 11. He'll step in from the right side. Rogers in on the grass, on the edge of the grass at first base. Colton Green not even with the bag at third base. The first pitch here to Flores, swing and a miss, strike 1. On deck moves Hamilton Hodges, the first baseman for the Wildcats. Eagles 1 pitch away here from getting out of this one. They can turn a double play. Kelly trying to do that as he ranged to his left. Tried to field it and step on the bag. Make the play to first base, but off the glove. The base is loaded, the 0-1. Pop fly back out of play. 0-2 the count now. Great timing. Noise effects. This makes my day. I love it. Still need a glass sponsor, though. We got to get one. The 0-2 pitch to Trey Flores. Skips him. About 3 feet short for ball 1. Connor Young, a good block there. The base runner stay put it for the Wildcats. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count with 1 out. The base is full of the Wildcats here in the top of the first inning. Kiki will get the sign from Connor Young. Comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive out into right field. It'll be down for a base hit. And that'll score 1 run for the Wildcats, and they'll take the early lead on the second hit of the ball game. 1-0. As Moss cruises in to score the run. An RBI base hit for Trey Flores. As Modisette moves up to third, Barron to second base. And in steps the first baseman, Hamilton Hodges. He'll step in from the left side. Elgin in the road grays. Elgin in purple lettering across the front of the gray jerseys and capital block print lettering. The first pitch here to Hodges on the outside corner for a called strike 1. 0-1 the count. Kiki comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count now. Sam Wade, the right fielder, on deck for the Wildcats. The 1 out, the base is loaded here in the top of the first. 1 run across for the Wildcats. The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 on a foul tip into the glove of Connor Young for out number 2. Second strikeout for Kiki. And with 2 outs and the bases loaded, in steps the right fielder, number 22, Sam Wade. Wade will step in from the left side as well. And now a runner will come out to run for the pitcher, Bryce Barrett, at second base. It'll be number 18, Wyatt Schrader, coming in and running for the Wildcats. 2 outs out at second base. Wade in the box from the left side. Kiki from the windup now. The first pitch to Sam Wade. Just misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count with the DH. Rustin Glass on deck, the number 8 hitter for the Wildcats. Should Wade be able to extend the top of the inning for the Wildcats. The 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for a called strike 1. 1-1 the count. Coming into the ball game, Jack with a 4.12 ERA, .412 ERA. Batting average against coming into the ball game was a measly 150. Couple of hits here in the inning and a 1-1 count. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Sam Wade. Jack looks in for the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Wildcats go down here in the top of the first, but not before. They pick up 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 runners left on base. After half an inning, Elgin 1. Georgetown coming up to bat when we come back. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment. Stay with us. Go to the bottom of the first. Georgetown will bring up Cooper Thomas, Jack Kiki, and Connor Young to face off against Bryce Barron for the Wildcats. Defensively for the Wildcats, Ramirez in left, Guerrero in center, Wade in right field, Flores at third, Modisette at short, Moss at second, Hodges at first, Fowler behind the plate, and Bryce Barron on the mound. And a bunt by Cooper Thomas down the third baseline. Motors down the line, and he'll be it out for an infield single. The throw gets away down the line, and Cooper Thomas will move up to second base, and then he will be held there. They'll get to third base, but they're going to send him back, I believe, to second base as the ball went under the fence out of play down the first baseline. So a base hit and an error on the play for Cooper Thomas. He'll be up at second base on a bunt single. And advances on the throw, an error by the third baseman, Flores. Cooper Thomas on the year came in hitting .429. That's his 25th hit of the season. 33 stolen bases on the year as Barron comes set in the stretch. First pitch to Jack Kiki. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes it low for ball one. 1-0 the count. To the senior, Jack Kiki, batting from the right side. Jack comes into the ball game a .435 batting average, 20 hits on the season with 12 RBIs. Cooper leads off second as Barron comes set in the stretch. The 1-0 pitch to Jack Kiki. Square to bunt. He'll pull it back and take it for strike one. 1-0 the count. One ball, one strike to count to Kiki. Cooper Thomas off and running, and Cooper will slide in safely at third as the throw gets away off of Flores. But Cooper will stay put there. Stolen base for Cooper. It's 34th of the season. 2-1 to count. That ball hopped off of the turf and hit Flores, knocked his hat and glasses off. They're going to come out and check on him, make sure he's all right. Took it off the noggin there. So as they check on him, we'll take a quick timeout. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Back out of the quick timeout. The 2-1 pitch low in the turf for ball three. 3-1 the count to Jack Kiki now with no outs and a runner at third base. On deck, the catcher, Connor Young. Kiki back in for the right side. Barron from the windup, the 3-1. Swing and a chopper down the third baseline. Flores fields it. The throw across the diamond. Not in time. Jack will beat it out for an infield single. A nice play there by Hodges at first to scoop it out of the turf, but not in time to get the speedy Kiki. And now runners on the corners with one out. Second hit of the ball game for the Eagles. And that'll bring up Connor Young, the junior catcher. Throws right, bats left, steps in here. The runners on the corners and no outs. Batting .390 on the season, 23 hits, 20 RBIs for the junior. As Connor steps in here. Kiki being held on at first by Hodges as Barron from the stretch comes set. The first pitch to Connor Young. Kiki off and running. The throw down to second will be let to go through, and it gets past the shortstop, and that'll allow Cooper Thomas to cruise in from third base and Kiki to advance to third. So a stolen base for Jack there, and then the throwing error into center field allows the run to score and Jack to move up to third base. So two costly errors in the inning for the Wildcats. 1-0, I believe, the count to Connor Young. He's back in. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball two. 2-0 the count to the junior left-hander. Connor Young sent one past the head of Bryce Barron into center field for a base hit, and that'll score the run from third base. The Eagles lead it 2-1 now. For Connor Young, that is his 21st RBI of the season on his 24th hit. And he'll get a courtesy runner here, and that'll be Tilly Brown coming out to run for Connor Young at first base for the catcher.
Courtesy runner number 9.
A nice piece of hitting there by Connor Young. And scores Jack Kiki on the base hit. 3 straight hits for the Eagles. And they take the lead back 2-1. And in steps the senior first baseman, number 11, Braden Rogers. Rogers steps in, batting .412 on the season. 16 RBI. Steps in for the right side. The first pitch to Braden misses away for ball one. Throw down back behind Tillman Brown at first, but he's safe there. 1-0 the count to the senior first baseman, Braden Rogers. Caleb McDougal in the on-deck circle for the Eagles tonight. With no outs and a runner at first here in the bottom of the first. 2 runs across. Bryce Barron from the stretch. First base side of the rubber comes set. 1-0 pitch. Square to bunt. Rogers will pull it back and take it for a called strike. And Tillman Brown slid through second base, but the shortstop, Modisette, came off the tag. And so Tillman Brown with the stolen base. Safely at second. 1-1 the count now to Braden Rogers with no outs and a runner at second base. 1-1 skips in for ball 2. 2-1 the count. Barron will come set in the stretch. Look at second base. Throw to second base. Tillman Brown back standing safely there. Barron comes set. The 2-1 pitch. On the outside corner for a called strike 2. 2-2 to count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs to Braden Rogers with a runner at second base. 2 runs across here in the inning. The Eagles lead at 2-1. Rogers back in. Barron comes set. The 2-2 pitch. And Rogers hits it into left field. That's going to be a base hit. And Tillman Brown will be waved around third. It's an RBI single for Braden Rogers. And the Eagles lead at 3-1. 4 straight hits for the Eagles. And that'll bring up the second baseman, number 12, Caleb McDougal. Caleb will step in from the right side, batting .386 on the year with 21 RBIs. Was leading the team coming to the ball game, but Connor Young has now tied that up with his 21st RBI. The first pitch from Barron to McDougal. That one's in there for a called strike 1. 0-1 the count. Caleb, as I learned today, spelled K-A-L-E-B, not C-A-L-E-B. I've been spelling it wrong for the last 2 years now. Steps back in for the right side. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball back out of play down the first baseline, and McDougal behind in the count down. No balls and 2 strikes, but no outs. Here in the bottom of the first. Braden Rogers at first base after an RBI base hit. Being held on by Hodges. McDougal back in. Barron will shake a pitch and now comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Hits him. So an 0-2 count. And Barron loses him on his first hit by pitch of the ball game. And now runners at first and second base for the Eagles. That'll bring up the DH, number 10, Braden Curtin. Curtin steps in with a .342 average. The third time McDougal's been hit by a pitch on the season. Rogers off second. The first pitch to Curtin. A fly ball into center field. Guerrero to his right a few steps. He'll make the catch. Rogers will tag up, but then he will be held at second base as Modisette will cut the throw off. So an F8 in the book for the first out of the inning to retire Curtin. And that'll bring up the third baseman, number 13, Colton Green. Colton Green steps in with a .341 batting average. 14 hits on the year, 2 of them being home runs. As he had a home run against the Lehman Lobos Saturday a week ago, and then against the Eastview Patriots on the Tuesday night game. Squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes it for a called strike. 0-1 to count. 18 RBIs on the season for the junior shortstop, Colton Green. As he steps back in here with no balls and 1 strike, 1 out, runners on first and second base. Barron will come set. The 0-1 pitch to Colton Green. Line drive hit down the left field line, but it's going to curl foul as it one-hops the wall. 4 strike 2, 0-2 the countdown. With the shortstop, Gavin Kelly on deck for the Eagles. Here in the bottom of the first. Scratched 3 runs on 4 hits. Gave up 1 in the top half of the inning, but quickly erased that one. Took the lead back here in the bottom of the first and still threatening with runners on first and second with 1 out. Barron comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Low and away for ball 1. 1-2 the countdown. Green back in from the right side. Barron comes set. A look at second base. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit up towards the middle, past the diving shortstop into center field. Rogers will be waved around third. He'll come in to score the 4th run of the inning, and Georgetown leads it 4-1 on an RBI base hit by Colton Green. That'll bring up the shortstop, number 22, Gavin Kelly. Gavin will step in, the 200 batting average on the season. 25 at-bats. Squares the bunt, takes it back. First strike one, 0-1 to count. 8th hitter of the inning for the Eagles. With Cade Erickson on deck. With 1 out, and the runners at first and second here at the bottom of the first. 4 runs across for the Eagles. They lead it 4-1. The 0-1 bunts it back foul to the net, 0-2. The microphone dances in the netting. No balls and 2 strikes to Gavin Kelly. Gavin back ready. Barron comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Pulled just foul down the third baseline. We'll reset and do it again. 0-2 the count. Thursday night, Camp Brightside, 6:30 p.m. Come join us for the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. And then Friday night, some Elgin barbecue. Come join us. Watch Eagle baseball at Elgin High School. 7 o'clock first pitch. The 0-2 misses low and away. Ball 1. 1-2 the count. The Eagles will take on the Wildcats in Game 2 of the 2-game series here in district play at Elgin High School. Barron comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Gavin Kelly fights it off and stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Other action in the district tonight. Hendrickson playing over at Weiss, Pflugerville at Eastview. And a drive into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. McDougal being waved around third. He'll head home. It's an RBI base hit for Gavin Kelly, and Georgetown leads it 5-1. Good piece of hitting there. Battle by Gavin Kelly as he drives in McDougal from second base. Gavin Kelly's 5th RBI of the season. And that'll bring up Cade Erickson, but not before we get a visit from the first base dugout. We'll take a break with them. It's Georgetown Baseball live here on the SHN Sports Network. Stay with us. Out of the timeout. He's still in the bottom of the first inning as the Eagles bring up the 9th batter of the inning, and number 9 hitter Cade Erickson, the left fielder. Cade will step in from the left side, hitting .281 on the season with 7 RBIs. Runners on first and second and 1 out. The lefty steps in. Barron's first pitch, square to bunt, bunts it foul. 0-1 to count. Cooper Thomas in the on-deck circle for the Eagles. 5 runs on 6 hits, and a couple of Elgin Wildcat errors. As we continue here in the bottom of the first, the 0-1 pitch to Erickson. Square to bunt, pulls it back. It's outside for ball 1. 1-1 to count. Hendrickson and Pflugerville, the two lone undefeated teams in district. They both had one bye week, so they're both at 2-0. Georgetown, Weiss both at 3-1. Eastview at 2-2. Conley and Elgin at 0-4. So some big battles this week with Hendrickson and Weiss and Pflugerville and Eastview doing battle. Turn towards second, no throw from Baroness. Rogers standing back safely on the, or Colton Green standing on the back. Green leads off second, Kelly off first. Pulled down the first base line. It's going to be a base hit for Erickson. Here comes Colton Green around third. He's headed to home. The throw's cut off at first base. And the Eagles lead at 6-1 on the RBI base hit by Cade Erickson. And he'll turn it right back over to the top of the lineup.
Up to bat, number 6, Cooper.
To Cooper Thomas. 6 runs on 7 hits now as Cooper Thomas steps in. He led it off with a leadoff base hit. Now runners on the corners with 1 out. Cooper 1 for 1 in the ball game. He bats for the second time here in the bottom of the first inning. On deck moves Jack Kiki. Erickson off and running on the pitch. Cooper Thomas fouls it off back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Cade was 6 stolen bases on the season, so only been caught stealing 1 time. See, it's off and running on that pitch. The 0-1 to Cooper. Now the yo-yo by Barron, but no throws as both runners back on the bags for the Eagles. Gavin Kelly off third. Cade Erickson off first base. The 0-1 pitch to Cooper, and there's a shot into center field. Guerrero to his left. And he'll get back and make the catch just before the center field wall, but a sac fly for Cooper Thomas. Scores the 7th run of the inning as Gavin Kelly will tag up and come in from third base. So with 2 outs in the inning, in steps Jack Kiki, who's 1 for 1 in the ball game. F8 in the book for the second out, the retired Cooper Thomas. Kiki will step in with a runner on first base. Uh-oh. Kiki with a bunt single. Or base hit down the third baseline. Fielded by Flores. But beat it out at first base. Steps in here. The first pitch from Barron. It's in there for a called strike. Throw down to first behind Erickson. It gets away. Stays back at the bag. 0-1 the count to Jack. 11th batter of the inning for the Eagles with a 7-1 lead here in the bottom of the first. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled off, back out of play. 0-2 the count now. Connor Young on deck. Should Kiki extend the inning for the Eagles? Quick throw over to first, but Cade back to the bag safely. Barron comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Kiki hits it out towards short. Off the glove of Modisette into left field. Cade Erickson's going to circle second, head to third, and he'll slide in safely there. And that'll allow Kiki to move up to third base. But an error on the shortstop, Modisette there. Keeps the inning alive for the Eagles. Connor Young will step up. Connor 1 for 1 in the ball game, an RBI single. Steps in here and takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1, 0-1 the count. And this one hits the pitcher, fielded by Modisette. But it's going to be an infield single for Connor Young. The first one almost took the head of Barron off. This one takes him off his feet. Now they'll check on Barron to make sure he's okay. Give him time to recover here. Should not be a mound visit for the coach. Should be a check on. But another base hit for Cooper Thomas, an RBI that scores Erickson from third base. Kiki moves up to third on that base hit. So Barron is all right. He'll stay in the ball game. And in steps number 11, Braden Rogers. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. An RBI single and a run scored earlier in the inning. The Eagles lead it 8-1. Barron comes set. The first pitch to Rogers. Misses outside for ball 1. Throw down behind Tillman Brown at first, and it gets past Hodges. Another error here for the Wildcats, and that'll score Kiki from third base on the throwing error by the catcher, Fowler. And Tillman Brown will cruise up to second base on that same error. So 1-0 the count to Braden Rogers with 2 outs. Runner at second base, the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball hit into right center field. That's going to be down for a base hit. Tillman Brown will circle third and head home. And Braden Rogers has another RBI here in the first inning on his second hit of the ball game, and it's an RBI double. And the Eagles lead it 9-1 now.
Up to bat, number 12, Caleb McDougal.
A good piece of hitting there by Braden Rogers. That'll bring up Caleb McDougal, who's 0 for 0 in the ball game. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run earlier in the inning. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Rogers with his 17th and 18th RBI of the year here in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch pulled foul down the third baseline. One ball, one strike to McDougal. 9-1, the Eagles lead it here in the bottom of the first. 9 runs on 9 hits. The 1-1 to McDougal. Skips in for ball 2. Nice block by the catcher Fowler to keep it from getting to the backstop. Braden Rogers always a threat to run. 2 stolen bases on the year. Leads off second base. The 2-1 to McDougal. Fly ball right side of the infield. Second baseman Moss called up by the first baseman Hodges, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. P3 of the book to retire McDougal and the Eagles here in the bottom of the first, but not before. Georgetown picks up 9 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 1 complete inning, Georgetown 9. Elgin 1. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Stay with us. Go to the top of the second, and Kiki on for the Eagles will face off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Rustin Glass, Kavanaugh Fowler, and Jesse Guerrero. The first pitch to Glass misses for ball 1. In his first inning of work, Kiki allowed 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, left 3 runners on base through 25 pitches. The 1-0 to Glass. Swing and a miss, strike one. 1-1 the count. Glass the DH, bats from the right side. Kiki from the windup, the 1-1. Swing and a miss, and the check swing. 1-2 the count. The catcher, Kavanaugh Fowler, on deck. Jesse Guerrero, the center fielder, in the hole for the Wildcats. The 1-2 pitch. Strike three called for out number one. Fourth strikeout of the ball game for Jack Kiki.
Now batting number 30, Kavanaugh Fowler.
Kavanaugh Fowler steps in from the right side. The catcher ready to go. First pitch misses up and in for ball one. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch up and in. Ball two. 2-0 the count. Two and 0 the count against Kavanaugh Fowler, the right-handed hitting catcher. 2-0 pitch misses. Ball three to the number 9 hitter. Activity down the first base line. In the Wildcat bullpen. Kiki from the windup, the 3-0 pitch. That one misses. Ball four. A 1-out walk. Mirrors the same effect from the top of the first inning of strikeout looking for out number one to start the first inning. And then a walk and a run scored by Moss. And now Guerrero will step in 0-for-1 in the ball game. So he struck out looking in the first, steps in here with 1 out and a runner at first base as Kiki moves to the stretch. First pitch to Guerrero in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Guerrero. Second walk issued by Jack here in the ball game. As Rogers holds him on at first, the 0-1. Bunts at it, the throw down behind the runner, but just back under the tag. Safely at first, 0-2 the count to Guerrero as he bunted after that one and missed on it. And now ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at first. Kiki comes set in the stretch, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Guerrero down on strikes for out number 2. 5th strikeout of the ball game for Jack Kiki. That'll bring up Preston Moss. He walked and scored a run back in the first inning, 0-for-0 in the ball game. Now number 13 will come out to run for the catcher Fowler. Hayden Carnes, the runner. Kiki comes set, the first pitch to Moss. Fly ball down the right field line. Clayton King on the run to his left into foul territory, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. And the Wildcats are retired here in the top of the second. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After an inning and a half, Georgetown 10, Elgin 1. Georgetown baseball continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Fly like an eagle, spit fire like a dragon. Make some mistakes, you won't keep me lacking. Already been through it, I ain't the one tapping. Let's see who's next up. Next up. Just me and my passion. Hear all the talking, they seeing no action. We get to step on while they get the bag. And I'm with my brothers, what's happening? None of my enemies fast and biting my style and jacket. Dropping a storm, you best get the pack. Ain't no more fashion. When I pull up in tanks, that's still wreaking havoc. Smell of an excellent young telepathy. Really on mine with these lines, spinning on top, I am one of a kind. Prophecy for my design, Yeshua said I'll be with him in time. Not even dope on my level of high, I'm levitating on the rhymes. Spiritual meditation, ain't no kind of faces, we got blue in our eyes. Say we on go, we suited up when we put on a show. Like, they want me for broke, I do it on one and making a toast. I could be doing the most, yeah. Submitted some jokes, I can see through them like ghosts. Yeah, do more than just float. I gotta fly like an eagle. Spit fire like a dragon. Make some mistakes, you won't keep me lacking. Already been through it. I ain't the one tapping. Let's see who's next up. Yeah, it's just me and my passion. Hear all the talking, ain't seeing no way.
Back here at Eagle Field, we go to the bottom of the second inning as the Eagles will bring up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Curtin, Green, and Kelly. Brayton Curtin will lead it off. For the Eagles, he's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to center field back in the first inning as he leads things off here in the bottom of the second for Georgetown with a 10-1 lead. So the bottom of the first was 10 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors, and 1 runner left on base for Georgetown. Barron back on the mound. First pitch, slash foul down the first baseline, out of play, 0-1 the count. In 1 inning of work, Barron allowed the 10 hits on the 9 runs, hit 1 batter, threw 45 pitches, officially unofficial. The 0-1 pitch to Curtin. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike 2, 0-2 the count. The 0-2 misses for ball 1. 1-2 the Barron from the windup, the 1-2 pitch, low and away, ball 2, 2-2 the count now. The 2-2 pitch, Curtin chops it foul into the third base dugout. Jared Frimmel goes scrambling. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gavin Kelly on deck. Cade Erickson in the hole. It's a 2-2 pitch. Fisted over towards second base. Moss to his left. Fields it. The throw to first in time. And Curtin retired for out number 1. 4-3 on the putout. And with 1 out, the base is empty. In steps Colton Green, the third baseman. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game with an RBI single and a run scored back in the first inning. As Colton steps in here. The bottom of the second with 1 out and the base is empty. First pitch to Colton. A smash into left center field. Guerrero to his right. Keeps looking up, and he watches it leave the yard. A solo tank for Colton Green. Just over the 385 sign to left center field. And the Eagles lead it 11-1. His 3rd home run of the season.
Now batting number 22, Gavin Kelly.
That'll bring up Gavin Kelly, the shortstop, who's 1 for 1 in the ball game, an RBI single in the first. Came around to score 7th run of the ball game back in the first inning. Steps in here with the bases empty and 1 out. The first pitch to Gavin Kelly. In there for a called strike, 0-1 the count. The 0-1 slash foul down the first baseline, out of play, 0-2 the count to Gavin Kelly. With those 2 RBIs in the game, Colton Green now up to 20 RBIs in the season. The 0-2 misses low and away for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Colton leads the team in home runs with 3. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gavin Kelly down on strikes for out number 2. First strikeout for Bryce Barron, and that will bring up Cade Erickson, the left fielder. Cade 1 for 1 in the ball game, an RBI single and a run scored back in the first inning. Steps in here with the bases empty and 2 outs. And the Eagles leading by 10, 11-1. Erickson in from the left side, Bryce Barron from the windup. Here in inning number 2. First pitch to Cade. Up and away for ball 1. Chopped out towards second base. Moss will charge, field it, throw to first. Not in time. Oh, my. They're going to call Cade out at first on a bang-bang play, and that will end the inning. for Georgetown here in the bottom of the second, but not before the Eagles get one run on one hit, a Colton Green solo tank. No errors and no runners left on base. After 2 complete innings, Georgetown 11, Elgin 1. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Last year was too much. Enemy with himself. Whispers and aromas. Had to take him back for my health. Who's to blame for my problems? It's me and nobody else. Yeah, life comes with stress. Time is how we're blessed. Too much of my day's been focused around what's next. Dark road, I walk alone. Put it around my neck. Put it around my wrist. I'm puffing up my chest tight and I couldn't breathe in my heart. Pumping bad tendencies and this isolation is killing me. But I can't believe now cause I'm scared to be. When they throw me down, do I plan to speak? Do I wait to see what it's taking me? My cuffs are locked, but I got the keys. Will I do what it takes to be free? Cause I'm chosen. I hear them calling me, hold it. They kill me now if they notice. So take control of emotions. I know I'm bad, but ain't broken. Still comfortable in this groaning. I can't get out without owning. A part of me I hate showing. I'm holding fast in this grip, pessimistic. Can't escape, but I'm scared I missed it. My bones are scraping, my hands are blistered. I'm falling down and I'm seeing crimson. Ain't pick me up, but drag me the distance. How to get it right, should've listened. They marching on and I see the prison. I know it's calling out. Listen, I paid on the love I was given. I went on my way and I gave them my ticket. I feel it. It's something that led me to sin.
Back to Eagle Field. We go to the top of the third as Modestet will step in and fly the first pitch into shallow left field. Gavin Kelly will drift back into shallow grass and take it for round number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the third. F6 in the book to retire Modestet. That'll bring up Bryce Barron, the pitcher. Barron reached on an error back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Steps in here with 1 out and no runners on. Kiki from the windup, the first pitch in there for a called strike 1. Through 2 innings, Jack has allowed 1 run on 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, thrown 37 pitches. The 0-1 to Barron. Misses low and away for ball 1, 1-1 to count. With Trey Flores, the third baseman, on deck for the Wildcats here in the top of the third. Jack from the windup, the 1-1 pitch. A little soft liner out towards center field, but Gavin Kelly on the sprint to his left makes the catch for out number 2. 0-6 in the book to retire Barron, and with 2 outs and the base is empty. In steps the third baseman, Trey Flores. He's 1 for 1. He had an RBI single back in the first inning. Left stranded at first base, steps in here. With 2 outs and the base is empty in the top of the third, the first pitch. Ground ball to third. Colton Green flags it down, throws across the diamond. Braden Rogers, a great play to go get it and get back to the bag in time to complete the out. 5-3 on the putout. The Wildcats go in order here in the top of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After 2.5, Georgetown 11, Elgin 1. Eagle baseball returns after this.
Like it's been some work going on. Better be prepared. Yeah, I ain't alone in the booth. Yeah, the spirit of work. Turn the microphone up. Yeah, I'm trying to be heard. Demons calling me up. Still been reading the word. A couple questions I need answering. I'm down for the search. So help me, Father. Help me, Father, man. I need to get my head right. Can't be fighting with these demons. It's like every night. Pray that in the darkness they can see the light. Help me, Father, as I grip the pen and start to write, Father. I need reconciling again. I keep pushing all these voices away with ain't from a pen. You feel like a gift. You keep giving, give with no win. To the day I see your face, restoration.
We go to the bottom of the third, and Georgetown will bring up the top of the lineup. Cooper Thomas, Jack Kiki, and Connor Young to face against Bryce Barron here in his third inning of work. And an inside strike called against Cooper Thomas for strike one. Coop 0 for 1 in the ball game. And a base hit and a run scored in the first, followed by a sac fly. Hits it to short, fielded by Modisette. He'll flip across the diamond in time to retire Cooper Thomas for out number 1. 6-3 on the putout. Nice play there by Modisette. One out and the base is empty. Jack Kiki will step in. Kiki 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled back in the first inning. Reached on an error in the second plate appearance in the first. Steps in here in the bottom of the third with 1 out and the base is empty. First pitch is low for ball 1. Eagles lead by 10. 10 runs in the first inning on 9 hits, and then a solo home run by Colton Green in the second. The 1-0 fouled off back to the backstop. 1-1 to count to Jack Kiki. Barron through 2 innings, the 11 runs on 10 hits. 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch. 57/58 unofficial pitches on the game for Bryce Barron as he works here in his third inning for the Wildcats. The 1-1 breaking pitch in there for a called strike 2. 1-2 the count. Nice pitch there by the righty Bryce Barron. From the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Outside for ball 2. Nice spot and a nice job by Fowler to try to frame that one, but just a little bit too far out. And a 2-2 count to Jack Kiki. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Kiki stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Kiki fisted out towards the mound, fielded by Barron. He'll flip to first for out number 2. 1-3 on the put out to retire Jack Kiki, and that'll bring up Connor Young. Connor 2 for 2 in the ball game, an RBI single in both of his plate appearances in the first inning. First one scored Jack Kiki, the second Cade Erickson. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game. First pitch in there for a called strike. Bryce Barron's anxiety level has to be elevated as Connor Young has taken 1 by his head and 1 off his foot. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball left side of the infield. A shortstop Modisette on a long run, and no one's going to get to it. As the left fielder Ramirez unable to make a play on it. Now it will fall into left field. Connor Young cruises into second base. His 3rd hit of the ball game. That'll bring out Tilly Brown to run. For the catcher, Connor Young, with 2 outs. That'll bring up Braden Rogers, who's 2 for 2 in the ball game with 2 RBIs and a run scored, a single and a double. Barron from the stretch, the first pitch to Rogers. Slapped foul down the first baseline, out of play. 0-1 the count. Rogers with 23 hits now in the season, 16 singles and 7 doubles after a single and a double. So far here in the ball game, both back in the first inning. Takes the 0-1 pitch for ball 1, 1-1 the count. 2 outs and a runner at second base here in the bottom of the third. Barron comes set in the stretch, the 1-1 pitch to Braden Rogers. Misses low and away. Tillman Brown off and running, and he'll be thrown out at third base for the 3rd out of the inning. 2-5 on the caught stealing, and that'll end the 3rd here for the Eagles. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base after 3 complete. Georgetown 11, Elgin 1. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Chains are falling, freedom calling, bring it, I'm all in, bring it, I'm all in. Chains are falling, Listen to the power flowing from within my chest. If you ain't seeing the picture, then you might be next. This the rise, and I'm taking all that I can't get. Step 2, gave my life to him who paid my debt. Aligning with the angels, only set our rep. Confidence is building up and you can keep your check. I got my royalties in heaven, after death I'm blessed. So try and stop the wave coming, or keep your threat. Cause I've been on it since a child, come and see my flesh. Pour out my heart, soul and mind, is what I got left. To be myself, to level up and break that shell. I've been through hell, and learned that the pain I felt was just another tool to keep me locked up in that cell. Had to make my own rules, leave them where I dwell. Now I'm standing on the stage, witness me prevail. I'm on chains of falling, freedom, calling, bringing a mile in.
Back live here at Eagle Field. We go to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Hamilton Hodges, Sam Wade, and Rustin Glass for the Wildcats. The first pitch from Jack Kiki misses for ball 1. Through 3 innings, Kiki's allowed the 1 run on the 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2. He's thrown 42 pitches and 3 innings of work as he works here in the top of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for a called strike. 1-1 to count. Hamilton Hodges 0 for 1 of the ball game. Struck out swinging back at the first inning as he stands here to lead off the top of the 4th. The 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-1 to count. Sam Wade, Rustin Glass also due up here in the Wildcat 4th. Trailing by 10 to your Georgetown Eagles, 11-1. The 2-1 pitch misses up and away. Ball 3. 3-1 to count. The lefty hitting Hodges steps out now back in the box from the left side. 3 balls, 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch on the outside corner, called strike 2. Full count now to the first baseman, Hamilton Hodges. Sun is finally set off to the left side of the field, back behind us. The payout pitch. Strike 3 called. Hodges down on strikes for the second time of the ball game. 6th strikeout of the night for Jack Kiki, and that'll bring up Sam Wade, the right fielder, number 22. He struck out back in the first inning. Steps in here from the left side as well with 1 out. The base is empty. First pitch misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Jack working into the windup on the first base side of the rubber. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled out of play. 1-1 to count. The 1-1 pitch. Low and inside. Ball 2. 2-1 to count. Looks in and gets the sign. The 2-1 pitch misses inside. Ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Sam Wade, the right fielder. The 3-1 pitch just misses. Ball 4. 1 out base runner for the Wildcats on the 3rd walk issued by Kiki here in the ball game. And that'll bring up Weston Glass, the DH. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out looking back in the 2nd inning as he stands in here with 1 out and a runner at first base. The wind has died down here at the Eagle Field. Jack will come set in the stretch. Wade being held on by Rogers at first base. The first pitch is high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. To the DH Glass, catcher Cavanaugh Fowler on deck for the Wildcats here in the top of the 4th inning. Thursday night, Camp Brightside, 6:30 p.m. Come join us for the Eagle Nation Baseball Coaches Show. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2. 2-0 the count. And Friday night, head on over to Elgin High School. 7 o'clock first pitch. The Eagles and the Wildcats will battle in game 2 of this 2-game series. And then Saturday, want some more baseball, come join us. 1 o'clock over at Liberty Hill High School. The 2-0 pitch to Glass. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 2-1 to count. Jack comes set. The 2-1 pitch. That one misses low for ball 3. 3-1 the count now to the DH, Weston Glass. 1 out, a runner at first base here in the top of the 4th. Jack working in his 21st inning of the season. Came in having thrown 17 innings. Working here in his 4th tonight. The 3-1 pitch. Ground ball to the mound. Kiki will field it to Kelly at second for 1, to first for 2, and the Eagles get out of the inning. Here in the top of the 4th. 1-6-3 in the double play. And the Wildcats go in order here in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After 3.5, it's 11-1. Georgetown leads it over the Wildcats. Stay with us. Eagle baseball continues in a moment.
If y'all with it, y'all hear me in the first place. Independent, they gon' sign you in the worst way. And I know you only out there with a church stay. TS collected, we gon' get it at the birthplace. Got called, had to answer with the worst say. Spirit from meeting, so I took the mic to praise Jay. See what he do in my life, yeah, from the 3rd day. No sleep, but new highs, the red eye. Eyes red from nights when I stay tied. No high and no lie, and no shy. Wooden boy, that got for him the most I ever did was take time to drink wine and to break bread to consecrate the main guy. Sit tired and take time to praise Jah. The music maker, the ground shaker, the supply. I'ma take y'all in it. Life like Christ, gotta stand on business like. Won't play with no sinning. 33 years to forever, we winning like. No cap, I'm fitted. God on my army and he took my sentence like. Tell death good riddance. Fighting good fights, can't quit. I'ma quit it like.
Gotta watch what I use my phone for. Wish of God even behind closed doors. I wanna praise him when I'm rich for.
Back to the bottom of the 4th here at Eagle Field. Georgetown Baseball brought to you all season long by some amazing sponsors. The Georgetown Eagle Baseball Booster Club, CSCT Construction Specialists of Central Texas, and King's Pest Control. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Braden Rogers leads it off as he takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a call to strike 1. Rogers was at the bat. Tillman Brown was caught trying to steal third base. The 0-1 pitch to Rogers. Line drive into center field. A 3-hit ball game for Braden Rogers. It's the 11th hit of the ball game, 12th hit of the ball game for the Eagles. That'll bring up Caleb McDougal. Braden Rogers in the 4-hole tonight. Picked up his 3rd hit of the game, 24th of the season. McDougal steps in from the right side. Caleb on the night, 0 for 1. The first pitch, breaking pitch, off speed in there for a called strike 1, 0-1 to count. Barron through 3 innings has allowed 11 runs on 11 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 hit by pitch, thrown 70 pitches as he works here in the bottom of the 4th. The leadoff man aboard, and Braden Rogers being held on by Hamilton Hodges at first base. The 0-1 pitch to McDougal. Hit into left field. Another base hit for the Eagles. First of the night for Caleb McDougal. Rogers will hold up at second base, and runners on first and second to start the bottom of the 4th for the Eagles on the 13th hit of the night.
Number 10, Braden Curtin.
That'll bring up Braden Curtin, who's 0 for 2 in the ball game. The senior DH flew out to center in the first. Rounded out to second base in the 2nd inning. Steps in here with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Came into the ball game hitting .342 on the year. Steps in here with no outs as Barron comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Curtin will come after a turn towards second base, but no throw. Rogers back easily. Braden Rogers off second. The first pitch to Curtin. Inside. For ball 1, 1-0 the count. McDougal on first base. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. Curtin back in from the right side. Barron comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Inside corner, called strike two. 1-2 the count. To the senior DH, Braden Curtin. Barron comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Curtin down on strikes for out number one. Second strike out of the ball game for Bryce Barron. That'll bring up Colton Green. Colton Green, 2 for 2 on the night. An RBI single in the first and a solo home run in the second inning. 2 for 2 in the ball game with 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. For the junior third baseman, steps in here with the runners at first and second and 1 out. The first pitch. Colton sends a shot into center field. Center fielder Guerrero backs up, makes the catch. Rogers will tag and head to third base. McDougal will move up to second base. On the fly out to center field by Colton Green. F8 in the book for out number 2. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Gavin Kelly. Kelly 1 for 2 in the ball game. An RBI single in the first and a strikeout back in the second inning. Steps in here with runners in scoring position at second and third base and 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Barron from the windup. The first pitch to Gavin Kelly inside for ball 1. I don't think the Kendrick Cavanaugh Fowler was ready for that one. 1-0 the count to Gavin Kelly. The 1-0 pitch from Barron. Slapped out and into right field. It's a base hit. That'll score Rogers from third. Here comes McDougal from second, and it's going to be a 2 RBI base hit for Gavin Kelly. The Eagles lead it 14-1. (13-1). I'll count them up right here in a minute. But Gavin Kelly is second and third RBIs of the ball game. As Rogers and McDougal come in to score. Advances to second base on the throw. 14th hit of the ball game. 12th and 13th run of the ball game. And that'll bring up Cade Erickson, the left fielder. First pitch swinging, fly ball into left field. Ramirez will drift to his right. And he will make the catch for out number 3. F7 to the book to retire Erickson and the Eagles here in the bottom of the fourth, but not before the Eagles pick up 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 4 complete, Georgetown 13, Elgin 1. Eagle Baseball returns in a moment. Stay with us.
Yeah. I'm the big homie, for those of y'all that don't know me. One and only, name another rapper, this Cody. Can't show me these down bad rap phonies. Take a pic to Ricky Bobby, shaking bake Brody. Pin rolling, never sleep, I just keep going. Hit my peak now, I just started like my name Tommy. Had a vision, this was destined for my life story. Bible by my side, I keep it like a gun on me. War ready, and we ain't afraid to get bloody. Told me I should quit my day job, that's funny. Hate will always elevate me, I'ma keep showing. Out and selling, record spinning, it ain't never slowing. Take the stakes, take the crown, I don't need it, got the sound. I'ma be the king forever, even when they count me out. Favorite rapper, raise a bar from the ground. Taking risks you never dream to get my name up out your mouth. Don't talk, it's silent on the floor, kings walk. We gon' drag your body through the door in shock. How I got them asking for a tour, man, stop. I'ma need a second, maybe more. I'm the big homie, for those of y'all that don't know me. One and only, name another rapper, this Cody. Can't show me these down bad rap phonies. Take a pic to Ricky Bobby, shaking bake Brody. Independent on my own, on my stand. Taking handles, not for me, I like the back of my demands. Bet against me, I'ma need that money coming in advance. I play with God's hand, you ain't never stood a chance. Take over your playlist, I'm that dude, set the mood. No, I've always been on top, I play it cool, nothing new. They said I should flex and then bring in the juice. School the rules, came and stuck up the game and we running fools. On the loose, I'm the big homie.
Back live here at Eagle Field, we have our CSCT call to the bullpen. Construction specialist of Central Texas, bringing you all calls to the bullpen this year. The Krogs and the McDougals, owners and sponsors of First Responder Broadcasting and Georgetown Eagle Baseball, amongst other sports on this campus to support these student athletes. Zeke Hernandez, number 14, the senior right-hander, comes into the ball game here in the top of the 5th inning to face off against the Wildcats in relief for the Eagles. Zeke has pitched 9 innings on the year. Appeared in 4 games, started 1. Faced 38 batters, 143 pitches thrown. He's allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Walked 4 and struck out 9. The first pitch is in there for a called strike as he faces off against the 9-1-2 hitters. Kavanaugh Fowler is 0 for 0 in the ball game as he walked back in the 2nd inning. The 0-1 pitch misses for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Through 4 innings pitched by Jack Kiki, he gave up 1 run on 2 hits, struck out 6, walked 3, threw 58 pitches. The 1-1 on the outside corner for a called strike 2, 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch. Laced down the first base line, and it's fair right on the line. Kavanaugh Fowler around first base. He'll hold up there. And it's a leadoff base hit here in the top of the 5th for the Wildcats. Just their 3rd hit of the ball game for Elgin. And that'll bring us to the top of the lineup, and Jesse Guerrero, the center fielder, who is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Guerrero struck out looking in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 2nd. First pitch misses for ball 1, 1-0 the count. The Wildcats down to their final 3 outs. They've got to put up at least 3 runs to keep from the 10-run rule here in the 5th inning. The 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for called strike 1, 1-1 the count. With Preston Moss on deck, Tanner Modisette in the hole for the Wildcats with no outs and a runner at first, being held on by Rogers. The 1-1 ground ball chopped down the first baseline, but foul for strike 2, 1-2 the count. Guerrero back in from the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs, runner at first. Fowler leads off, held on by Rogers as Zeke comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch skips in and away. It's a wild pitch that allows Kavanaugh to move up to second base into scoring position. First wild pitch of the ball game. And 2-2 count now to Jesse Guerrero. The 2-2 pitch skips in and away from Connor Young. And Kavanaugh Fowler cruises into third base on the wild pitch. Full count now to Guerrero. With no outs and a runner at third base now. Here in the top of the 5th for the Wildcats. The 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4. Back-to-back base runners here for the Wildcats on the first walk issued by Zeke. That'll bring up Preston Moss, the second baseman, who's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He walked and scored a run in the 1st. Flew out to right field in the 2nd inning. Defensively for the Eagles, Jack Kiki goes to shortstop. Gavin Kelly moves to right field. And Clayton King leaves the game for the Eagles here in the top of the 5th. The first pitch to Moss. Fly ball out of play down the first baseline. 0-1 the count. With Tanner Modisette on deck for the Wildcats here in the top of the 5th inning. No outs and runners on the corners. Zeke comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. In there for a called strike 2. 0-2 the count. Zeke will come set. The 0-2 pitch. Chop foul down the third baseline. Moss stays alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch to Moss. Ground ball hit to short. Kiki will field it. Flip to McDougal for one. On to first. Not in time. And a run will score as Kavanaugh Fowler will come in from third base. Moss will reach on the fielder's choice at first base. An RBI that scores Kavanaugh Fowler. Guerrero cut down at second base, 6-4 for out number one. And that'll bring up Tanner Modisette, the shortstop. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. A single in the first, flew out to short in the third. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. 0-1 the count. 13-2 your score now. Georgetown by 11. As Zeke comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch to Modisette. Ground ball just past the mound. McDougal will lay out, but it's past him into center field. And a one-out base hit. Has runners at first and second here for the Wildcats. Second hit of the ball game for Tanner Modisette. Fourth hit of the ball game for the Wildcats. That'll bring up Bryce Barron, the pitcher for the Wildcats, with one out. The runners at first and second. Barron is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Reached on an error back at the first inning. Lined out to Kelly at shortstop in the third. First pitch misses for ball one. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch misses low. Ball two. 2-0 the count. With Trey Flores, the third baseman, on deck for the Wildcats. The 2-0 pitch fouled off of the catcher, Connor Young. The home plate umpire will walk a fresh baseball out. Give Connor time to reset. 2-1 the count to Bryce Barron. Connor Young ready to go. Mask back on. Barron will step back in. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at first and second. Preston Moss at first. Tanner Modisette at first, or Moss at second. Modisette at first. The 2-1 misses for ball 3. 3-1 the count. The 3-1 pitch. Slash foul down the first baseline, out of play. 3-2 the count now to Bryce Barron. Zeke from the stretch comes set. The payoff pitch. Skips in for ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Now batting number 11, Trey.
Second walk issued by Hernandez here in the inning. That'll bring up Trey Flores, who's 1 for 2 in the ball game. An RBI single in the first. A ground out to third base back in the 3rd inning. Moss off third base. Modisette off second. Barron at first base. 1 run across in the inning. 13-2 lead for the Eagles. The first pitch to Flores skips in for ball 1. 1-0 the count. As Eagle comes set in the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. That one's in there for a cold strike. 1-1 the count. Trey Flores. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Hamilton Hodges, the first baseman, on deck for the Wildcats. Here in the top of the 5th. 1-1 pitch. And they're going to say he did not go around and was able to check his swing. 2-1 to count. Trey Flores. The base is full of Wildcats here in the top of the fifth and one out. 2-1 pitch. Fouled off, back to the screen, 2-2 the count. The rest of the week for your Georgetown Eagles. Thursday night, Camp Pride time, 6:30 p.m., the coaching show. Come join us out there. Good food and libations. 2-2 pitch, fouled off. Flores stays alive in the event. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then Friday night, over at Elgin, Texas, 7 p.m. first pitch. The Eagles will take on the Wildcats in Game 2 of the 2-game series before a Saturday road trip over to Liberty Hill to take on the Panthers in non-district play. The 2-2 pitch skips in. Good stop there by Connor Young to keep the runners at bay. 3-2 the count now to Trey Flores. So nowhere to put him here. Bases loaded with a full count and 1 out here in the top of the fifth. 1 run across in the inning, a 13-2 lead for your Eagles. Hernandez comes set. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Trey Flores caught looking for out number 2. First strikeout for Zeke. A big one there. Now 2 outs in the inning, and in steps Hamilton Hodges, the first baseman, number 10. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Struck out swinging in the first, struck out looking in the fourth. As he steps in here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. First pitch misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Sam Wade, the right fielder, on deck. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder chopped high, hopper to third, but into foul territory. Colton Green will get it back to Zeke with a 1-1 count. To the left-handed hitting first baseman, Hamilton Hodges. Zeke back in the windup. The base is loaded from the first base side of the rubber. The 1-1 pitch. Chop foul down the third baseline. Good effort there by Coach Key out of the dugout to field that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a good example for the other 2 coaches. Pretty weak attempts we get out of them at the base pass, so Coach Key stepping up. Appreciate that. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hodges with 2 outs. Here in the top of the fifth, and now he wants a timeout to think about it. So we'll reset. Bases loaded here in the top of the fifth. The Eagles a strike away from winning it in run rule fashion. The 1-2 fouled off, back to the screen. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Moss at third base. Modisette at second base. Bryce Barron at first base. Zeke Hernandez looks in and gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch. Ball game. Hamilton Hodges goes down looking for out number 3, and the Eagles win it 13-2 over the Wildcats. Here in Game 1 of this best-of-2 series, Georgetown improves to 19-3 on the year, but more importantly, they improved to 4-1 in district play. The Elgin Wildcats fall to 4-15 overall, 0-5 in district play, and these 2 teams will do it again Friday night, 7 o'clock at Elgin High School. Come join us live there to watch and cheer on your Georgetown Eagles as they try to continue their winning ways against the Wildcats on Friday night. But if you're bored on Thursday night and you like good food, libations, and an entertaining time with some baseball players and Coach Durrell, come join us at Camp Brightside. We'll be live at 6:30 here on the SHN Sports YouTube channel. And it's all made possible by our great sponsors, CSCT, Georgetown Eagle Baseball Booster Club, and King's Pest Control, to keep it free and live for you here on the SHN Sports YouTube channel all season long. Thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy the night. And remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.